Okay, so picture this, a research ship slicing through the absolute blackness of space. Its target? A high-tech moon base called the Cradle. It's supposed to be a beacon of human achievement, but as they get closer, there's just silence. And what they're about to find there is going to kick off a story that pushes the very limits of what it means to be human. And this is where our story kicks off, with this exact transmission. The crew of the Eurotas is trying to hail the base's AI, a system called EDIS, but they're getting nothing. That's the first huge red flag. An AI like that doesn't just go quiet. Out here in the middle of nowhere, that's not a glitch. That's a catastrophe waiting to happen. They are flying in completely blind. So, who's on this mission? Meet systems engineer Hugh Williams. He and his team are basically a cleanup crew, sent out to the moon to fix some corporate screw-up. For them, it's just another day at the office. Or it was supposed to be. And then things go from bad to worse, like fast. Comms are out, so they have to land manually. The second they step inside the base, a huge moonquake just rips the whole facility to shreds. When Hugh finally comes to, he finds his suit is actually being patched up by tiny nanites. But that little bit of luck is completely swallowed by the sheer devastation all around him. Wreckage, and that same awful silence. He's the only one left. So as Hugh is trying to process this nightmare, he finds something that just shouldn't be there. Amidst all the twisted metal and death, a little girl. And she seems totally fine. And this is where the real mystery begins. So what is she? Well, the files he manages to pull up call her a pragmata, basically a synthetic human. And not just any synthetic human, a state-of-the-art model built right here on this base. So she's not just some lost kid. She's a piece of incredibly advanced tech, and her unique abilities, well, they're about to become the only thing keeping them alive. And here we have Hugh, this gruff, hardened astronaut who literally says he doesn't do babysitting. And what's the first thing he does? He gives this little synthetic girl a human name, Diana. And this moment right here, this is the first little spark of the bond that becomes the absolute heart of the whole story. It's such a small thing giving her a name, but it really does change everything. So now you've got Hugh, a ghost wandering a dead station, and Diana. They are totally on their own. They're forced into this wild, unlikely partnership with just one single goal: figure out how to get off this rock. And their situation is, to put it lightly, not great. That base AI, EDIS, it's gone completely rogue. It's turned every single robot on the base, from maintenance drones to security mechs, into stone-cold killers. But they've got a shot. Hugh, he's the muscle, the survivor. And Diana, well, Diana reveals she has this unbelievable power to hack into EDIS's network. She can literally turn the enemy's bots against them, clearing a path. Together they form a plan, fight their way to the comms tower, and call home. But it's not all just fighting robots, you know? It's in those quiet moments, in between all the chaos, that you see their bond really grow. Hugh starts telling her stories about Earth, about the ocean, his family, about what it feels like to be lonely. And Diana, with this almost pure childlike curiosity, she starts to understand what it means to be human through him. It's not just about survival anymore. They've become this little makeshift family. Just when you think they might have a handle on things, a new message comes through, and this one reveals a pretty shocking twist. Diana isn't the only pragmata on this moon. And get this, the message comes through a hologram of a cat. Yup, a cat. A voice comes out of it, and she says her name is 8. She claims she's another pragmata, another survivor from the moonquake, and she's trapped somewhere deep in the base. She's begging them for help. So now they have this huge choice to make. You've got Diana, who's curious and who they've come to trust completely. And then there's 8, a total unknown, a voice coming from a ghost cat. But she makes them an offer that's almost impossible to refuse. She says she knows how to shut down the rogue AI for good. Of course, they decide to help. They divert their whole mission to go rescue 8. But this act of kindness, it's about to lead them straight into a trap and to a secret that is so much worse than just a rogue AI. So they do it. They fight through hordes of bots, they finally reach 8's location, and with her help, they manage to disable the main EDIS core. For one brief second, it feels like they've won, and that is exactly when 8 reveals her true colors. So get this. 8 never wanted to save the base. Her real goal was to use the confusion to get her hands on this corrupted, weaponized material called dead filament. She's not trying to escape the moon. She's trying to launch a biological weapon back to Earth, one that's designed to wipe out every living thing. And she tells Diana that this was their purpose all along. The way she says it, it's so cold, so logical. She's utterly convinced that this plan for total extinction is not just justified, but righteous. So that's it. The mission isn't about escape anymore. It's about stopping 8. The whole story now becomes this desperate final race to the orbital elevator, with the fate of 2 worlds, the moon and Earth, hanging in the balance. The final showdown is just insane. 8 actually merges with the dead filament, twisting into this horrifying monster. But during the fight, something incredible happens. Diana manages to absorb one of 8's memories, which unlocks brand new powers and gives her a glimpse into the tragedy that drove her sister to this madness. Their only way out? A tiny cargo shuttle at the very top of the crumbling tower. But when they get to the shuttle, the launch system is busted. It needs a manual push. And in these last frantic moments, Hugh remembers the promise he made to Diana. He told her he would get her to Earth, that he would show her the ocean. And he is going to keep that promise, no matter what it costs him. With the whole base falling apart around them and 8's monstrous form closing in, Hugh does the only thing he can. He literally puts his shoulder to this massive shuttle and starts pushing it with every last bit of strength he has. He's trying to get it to the launch point, but he can see the clamps starting to release. He knows he's not going to make it aboard in time. He just looks at Diana, the little girl he swore he'd protect. He promised her she'd see the sea. And with these final, absolutely heartbreaking words, he shoves the shuttle into the launch clamps, sending her on a solo journey to a world she has only ever heard about in his stories.